Hi, and welcome to 15 Minutes of Fame. I am Geoffrey Driscoll.
And I'm Jim Kerr. And Jeff, I don't think I'll be doing your parts as well.
No, you're not going to be doing that, but thank you for that. I appreciate the stand-in. That was fantastic. I think we should try that again one of these days. If we ever have to, we can go on a stand-up comedy tour.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was
you
good.
could be my puppet.
Yeah, exactly. Let's get right into it then, now that that's over with. What a week for the Edmonton Oilers, Jim. First they trade away Dustin Penner. Then they lose Alex Hemsky to a shoulder injury. The guy's always injured, man.
Yeah.
And then on Thursday night, something else happens. Taylor Hall scores, assists on a Jordan Eberle goal. Having a great game. Goes inside, outside, right beforehand. It was absolutely, didn't score, but it was absolutely beautiful move. And then gets in his first career NHL fight. If the Oilers didn't have bad luck, Jim, they would have no luck at all.
Oh, I know.
I mean, Hall gets hurt, and now he's done for the year. Despite the injury, Hall gets some praise from the head coach after the game. Tom Rennie says, we drafted character, so you better expect character to show up, and it did. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Hall had some interesting things to say after the game, too, didn't he?
Well, yeah, I liked, even though he got hurt, maybe he shouldn't have fought, but I liked what he said. It's not a good feeling getting rescued all the time.
Yeah, that's
and he just wanted to defend himself, and that's noble, I suppose. But with the Oilers, guys aren't breaking their hands in fights or falling awkwardly, and that's what happened. That's what I don't like about that type of fight is that instead of standing and trading, you start Greco-Roman standing. Yeah,
the Zach Stortini style of fight.
And you end up falling awkwardly, and that's, a team like the Oilers who have no luck when it comes to that,
none.
That's the kind of thing that'll happen.
Yeah, you know what? I don't mind that fighting itself. I like that Taylor Hall stepped up, and I like that he fought. Some people would say that he didn't really give the other guy a chance to really square up, like he...
Well, that's what you do if it's your first fight.
I guess,
you don't get it. Let's go. You take the bucket off. No, you throw the mitts and you just start throwing.
Yeah, exactly. But what I mean, you got to teach kids like this how to fight. Yeah. I mean, he's going to get in a fight eventually. Gret's gotten a bunch of 3 fights in his whole career. Taylor Hall's. You got to teach him how to fight, so that even though you say no, don't do it as much as possible, so that stuff like that doesn't happen. He knows how to go down. I mean, you don't see George Rock twisting his ankle all that often, No. So that's what made me the most mad about it, I would say.
I like that he does fight though, or did.
Yeah.
Who knows if he'll try it again. But as he grows up as a player and becomes more experienced and becomes a more important part of that team, a fight at the right time of the game can be,
it's as important as a absolutely.
You think about a Mark Messier, and
yes,
he was a lot grittier, I think, than a Taylor Hall. But if you fight at the right time, somewhere down the line, when the Oilers are maybe competing for a playoff spot, that might be a key moment. And I like the fact that Taylor Hall said he hates being rescued by his teammates, and he wants to show the rest of the team that, hey, I can defend myself. I'm 195 pounds. I can defend myself.
Except for, he did a good job. He hurt himself. It's just, it's so high risk. But, lost in the shuffle a bit here is the fact that, he was being talked about as a Calder Trophy candidate.
Absolutely.
I mean, he certainly wasn't one, but he was probably third. And I mean, if Jordan Eberle hadn't gotten hurt, Jordan Eberle would have been in that conversation too, I believe. So, and then the biggest one for me is, I thought this was going to be for the World Championships that come up here in the playoffs. I thought this was going to be an Edmonton Oiler group at the World Championship, just like it used to be when Ryan Smith used to play.
Plus, it's a good experience for a young player as well, and especially one that's grown up in the Team Canada system. So I guess there's an outside chance he could play it. The tournament starts in about 8 weeks.
That's right.
So maybe it's probably wise that he doesn't. But
yeah. I'd still like to see him and Eberle go and have a good time and a couple more players like that.
Well, it's the experience too, and it'll help them grow as players. But I guess they won't get that chance. Eberle probably
will. We can't talk hockey this week without mentioning Trevor Gillies, Jim. His suspension in his 3rd shift. It was just his 3rd shift after serving a 9-game ban. The Islanders' tough guy got himself into some more trouble. What happened there, Jim?
Well, a guy like Gillies, when we say 3rd shift, it was mid-second period.
Yeah, by the time he gets 3 shifts.
But, Cal Clutterbuck threw a hit along the boards. They were calling the penalty.
Yeah, they were. That's exactly it.
And he decided to drive his head into the glass. And they basically right away threw him out. This time he didn't get a chance to stand just outside the surface and chill Clutterbuck.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think it was a good sign by the NHL to say, listen, man, if you're not going to take the punishment seriously, get out of here. And he's not under contract next season. He's basically done for the year.
Yeah.
They've got some games later on, but the Islanders,
because he got a 10-game, you got to get 10-game suspension after that.
So there's there's still some time left in the season when he gets back, but not much.
No.
I just think that's a bonehead thing to do. At least the first game back, you should be on your semi-best behavior. And I don't know what that means for an enforcer to be on your best behavior, but be a little smarter. But it shows that they're being serious about,
which I like.
At least when it comes to Trevor Gillies.
Yeah. We'll see about everybody else.
And Tangrady, the guy who was involved in the hit that he got suspended 9 games for, hasn't played yet. So he's still out with a concussion. And some guys just don't think.
Mean mustache, though.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Mean mustache.
Someone was saying to me, though, maybe he wouldn't have got such a stiff penalty if he didn't have the handlebar mustache.
Yeah, that's fair.
Makes him look more like a biker.
Yeah, that's right. Switching gears a little bit here, we got to talk about basketball. The National Basketball Association sent 2 teams overseas to play in London this past week to try and grow the game over there, I suppose. We here at 15 Minutes of Fame are wondering, Jim, why would they send 2 of the worst teams in the league? The Raptors and the Nets, and 2 of the 6 teams with less than 20 wins. Why would they send them over to London to grow the game?
Someone was saying that the Raptors have more European players than anyone else, but who cares?
Yeah, no, that's right.
What does that mean?
Exactly.
I mean, it's not even like they looked at last year's standings and thought, these are the 2 teams we should send, and then they just happened to bomb this year. The Nets were last in the conference.
Yep.
The Raptors were under 500. Wouldn't you be better served having the Lakers and the Heat play each other?
Yeah, if this were baseball and baseball wanted to go over, you wouldn't send the Kansas City Royals and the Pittsburgh Pirates over, right? You send the Yankees, the Sox, that kind of thing.
And I don't know, maybe they thought, we don't want to disrupt the good team's rhythm or something like that, but I don't know.
Certainly not going to disrupt anything on the Raptors or the Nets, that's for darn sure.
Give them an excuse maybe for a week, but yeah, I don't get the decision making there. You wouldn't pick those 2 teams if you were gonna. Let's have a showcase.
No.
Okay, Raptors and Nets.
That's
done.
Battle of the champion. Yeah, no, I agree completely.
It doesn't make sense to me.
We're going to move on to the GABBYs now. These are the good and bad by you. We take the best and the worst stories in the world of sports submitted by you, and we talk about them. We already discussed it, but I think, Jim, I'm going to give a good to Taylor Hall for racking up his first career Gordie Howe hat trick.
Oh, yeah.
Also,
hats off.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mr. Hall.
Also good on his coach and GM for backing him up after he ended up getting hurt. Although I don't think they had much of a choice not to back him up. But I thought that was pretty good.
Yeah, I guess they didn't. But hearing Tom Rennie right away say, we drafted character, and that's what we got. And Tambellini backed that up just the other night. So, it's
definitely good.
It's good to see that they showed a bit of solidarity there. And at the end of the day, I do like that Hall stepped up for himself. And, maybe didn't win the fight, but
at least he stepped up. Yeah, absolutely.
Still with hockey and still with the good side of things, Ilya Kovalchuk.
Oh, Ilya Kovalchuk. $100 million man.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Everyone chirped him at the start of the year. Because,
I did.
Yeah, because the Devils stunk and he wasn't doing much.
Yeah.
Well, he's on fire right now, as are the Devils. They can't stop winning. They're still on the outside looking in by quite a bit. But they're, if anyone, if there's anyone in the East that I want to see make the playoffs, it's not in there right now. It has to be the Devils. Not only is he scoring a lot, he's scoring game winners a lot.
Absolutely.
He's got 6 in his last, 13 or so games. He's on fire.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the Devils can ride him into the playoffs. I think they've got the speed right now. I think they've got the momentum. And I think Marty Brodeur is going to show up. I think that's the way that they're going to go. And good for Ilya Kovalchuk for finally showing up.
We talked last week about what a change a GM can make, switching things up in Calgary. Well, they made a coaching change in New Jersey, and
this shows that it works.
Night and day.
Absolutely. As much as I hate to do this, and we've given way too many of these to the Calgary Flames so far this year, but got to give a nod to Miikka Kiprusoff, the goaltender for the Flames. On Friday night, he stopped not 1, but 2 penalty shots in the 4-3 win over Columbus, recording his 6th straight 30-win season. That said, although they're going for the playoffs, I really hope they blow it.
Yeah, he's got 30, so I hope that's it. I hope he finishes at 30. Oh, I hate seeing the Flames do well.
But
they have gone on a good run, and Kiprusoff somehow is one of the most solid, down the stretch goalies.
He's always like that, though. He's streaky, He's streaky. Yeah. When he's good, he is top 3, I would say, in the world goaltenders. But when he's bad, boy, he can just let him in.
Well, speaking of bad,
yes,
it's time to go to the bad side of things. And despite the play of newcomer Carmelo Anthony, the New York Knicks lost to the Cleveland Cavaliers, the worst team in the league, twice in the span of 7 days.
Yeah.
How does that happen? And, you know, they're not only the only good team to lose to the Cavs. After snapping a 26-game losing streak, which was awesome, the Cavs are 4-4 with wins over the Clippers, who aren't the greatest. The Lakers. And then twice over the Knicks.
Yeah. I mean, how about that?
Explain that one.
Yeah, I just don't understand. And I don't know if you guys remember, but we hit up the Cavaliers earlier on in the season, and our GABBYs on the bad side.
Oh, they're still not good.
They're still not good. No, but
I don't know what they're drinking.
No, that's right.
But I think they got some of that Mike's special stuff from Space Jam.
That's exactly it. But Melo, I mean, you know, you come with all that hype and the trade deadline and everything.
He's doing well,
and he is.
Stoudemire had 41 and they lost.
Yeah, absolutely, and they lost. No, absolutely unbelievable. Good for the Cavs, though. I mean,
I guess.
I guess. Still with basketball, what's wrong with the Miami Heat? L Heat, Jim. L Heat. That's what they had on their jerseys. A night after blowing a 24-point lead, 24 points. As a sidebar, yeah, we got a little bit of time. My team blew a 15-point lead. My men's league team, 15 in the fourth quarter. I don't know. Defensive problems. That's what you got to do.
I'm glad you said it was your basketball team and not your hockey team.
No, absolutely. So, anyways, Miami trailed by 24 after just one quarter on the way to a 30-point loss. 125-95 to the San Antonio Spurs. They've now lost 4 or 5. I don't know what's wrong with the L Heat.
Yeah, and they lost again. They lost again.
Bulls, yeah, that's right.
I guess the players were getting a little emotional after the game.
Crying in the locker room there, Jim. Yeah, absolutely. And
now, is that a defeated team right now? Do you think?
I don't know.
Crying in the locker room after a 4th loss in a row, I mean...
You certainly don't want to be that down this close to the playoffs. You want to be on your upswing, right?
Yeah, or you want to just stay in the middle. Don't get too high, don't get too low. If they're crying after a loss... Boy.
That shows the morale there has got to be absolutely out of this world. So I don't know. Yeah, we got to give it bad to them.
Now we're gonna wrap up. Still with basketball, different level though. College basketball this time. This one out of BYU, a little March Madness for you, but not the tournament.
It is mad though.
They've dismissed player Brandon Davies from the basketball team for breaking the school's honor code, Geoff.
You know,
he had premarital sex with his girlfriend, apparently, which is horrible.
Absolutely horrible. Breaking the honor code. Apparently these kids, and that's all you can call them, as kids at this level. I mean, they take this honor code and they say, okay, we're not going to have premarital sex at all. I mean, there's like 15 things wrong with this, Jim, but how do you know? You know, how do you know?
I guess he fessed up.
I guess. Like,
he was bragging, man.
Maybe that's what it was, but that's just...
But BYU's a good team, and they lose their third best scorer and their top rebounder. That
absolutely.
Shows they're pretty serious about that honor code.
They are very serious
before the tournament.
Like, come on now. I think that's a little ridiculous. I think you really can't regulate what happens.
Surely that's unconstitutional.
Surely that's unconstitutional.
Maybe it's not.
It's got to be against...
I haven't read the Constitution in a while, but...
Absolutely. So that's definitely a bad.
That's a bad.
Absolutely. We're going to move on to quick hits now. And Jim, the NFL Players Association and NFL owners are going back and forth, mediation this, extending deadlines here. Is there going to be a lockout, Jim?
Part of me feels like they'll find a way to make it happen, but I read, how far apart they are on some things, and maybe a brief one. I think they'll play. I don't think that'll be an entirely lost season. I have a feeling that there'll be a brief lockout.
Yeah, agreed. Absolutely. Mike Weir, Canadian Mike Weir, lost his PGA Tour card this week after missing the cut in his the last professional tournament that he played in. The guy is 40 years old. He's got injury problems. Are we ever going to see him back on the tour? At least on a regular basis?
I guess I'm a Stephen Ames fan now.
You have no choice.
Golfer, I don't know.
Exactly. Jim and I are hosting a live roundtable hot stove on April 2nd at the Beer Hunter Pub in the west end of Edmonton. It'll be live streamed at anysportanytime.ca, but if you can, come out and to the pub and see what it's like to watch us do what we do live.
Geoff will buy you a beer if you come.
Oh, shoot. Anyways.
He's got a good job.
That's our 15 minutes of fame up for this week. In the meantime, check us out again next week when we get a whole new 15 minutes of fame. I'm Geoffrey Driscoll.
And I'm Jim Kerr.